and welcome to Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at this particular model. This is a model of sort of importance to me in that this is a Porsche 914 in the color of the Porsche 914 that I used to own. The Porsche 914 is the first car I ever owned, and I do certainly miss that car because it was a fun little car despite its absolute lack of power, but it sure could handle well. This particular model does sort of complete a collection that I have of cars that I owned or do own that are in the colors of the cars that I had. So not only do I have this car in this green, and this is called Ravenna Greeen, but I also have this model here, which is an Alfa Romeo GT-V6 in red, which I do own, although mine did not have this dark gray coloring on the lower part of the door. I also had this Audi Quattro Coupe, although this is an Audi S2, which is actually the hopped up version of the car that I had and has about an extra 50 or so horsepower, but I did have the same body style in this pearl white. And I also had this. I had a BMW M3 in M3 Coupe in this Estoril blue. The only difference that was in this particular case is, of course, this is the Euro version, so it has the Euro lights on it. Of course, under the hood here, it would have the Euro engine, which has about an extra 50 horsepower, and I also had the rear wing on my E36 M3. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back to this 914. Now, this is actually the second 914 that I got. The previous one I got because this color wasn't available before. I had a Revell model, or I still do, in a metallic blue, and it is actually a better model than this one in that it has pop-up headlights, it has an opening trunk, it has an opening rear trunk, and an opening engine bay. This one, all it has is a removable roof, like the other one, but of course you can't stow the roof in the rear trunk because it doesn't open. But let's go ahead and take a look at this particular model here, okay? So mine did have the Porsche side badge on it. I actually didn't have these wheels, I should mention. These are the Fuchs wheels that you could get with the 914. Mine actually had alloy wheels off of Toyota Celica, an early Toyota Celica. They actually look pretty good, but I certainly do like these Fuchs wheels better. You can see the disc brakes there. The 914 was sort of unusual in its time in that it had four-wheel discs as well as a 5-speed transmission. Seems like most sports cars back then did not have that. And this one also had fuel injection, which, you know, still at the time that this model came out, most cars were still carbureted. So it was actually pretty high tech for the time. But you can see all the details here are pretty nice. The wheels do look very good. Also, the American versions had a round side marker light, and the turn signals here were all orange, so that was a difference. Another high-end thing that my car had, that this car has, is the fog lights. You kind of needed those fog lights because the headlights were so feeble back in the day. Anyway, I used to drive most of the time with these fog lights on. So detail on this does look very good. I mean, other than it's not opening, it all looks good. You know, you can see in there that the detail on the seats looks very good. You can see here that the detail in the interior is quite lovely. Let me just go ahead and zoom in here so you can see it a little bit better. Now, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see the shifter in there. You can also see underneath the climate control stuff, which is to the left of the stereo, you can see a lower console with 3 gauges in it. That was another hallmark of the higher end models of this car, in that you had these 3 gauges in there. Mine actually did not have those 3 gauges in there. It just had an open storage bin, and honestly, I didn't miss those gauges, and it was nice to have that storage space in there. You can see here that the detail on the steering wheel is quite nice, and that is the same steering wheel as you got in a Porsche 911 back in the day. And the detail of the rear view mirror, the sun visors and the gauges in the gauge cluster is all quite good. Another thing to note here is, take a look at this. You only have a rear view mirror on the driver's side and not on the passenger side, which is the same as mine. Probably because regulations did not require a passenger side rear view mirror back in the day. Looking at the back here, you can see that it says 914 Volkswagen Porsche. So as I said, this is a European version, and of course you can tell that by the plates as well. My car was actually a 1.7 liter, but it had larger pistons, boring it out to a 1.9. So it was nearly as fast as the 2-liter version, which is all relative, because even the 2-liter version did 0 to 60 in more than 10 seconds. So it was a pretty slow car for back in the day, or pretty quick car, I guess you could say, for back in the day, but certainly slower than anything you can buy nowadays. I mean, you can buy yourself a minivan and it'll be way faster than this car off the line. Taking a look at the underside, again, some good detail in here, showing the exhaust and the heat exchangers for the heater, the engine and transmission. You know, you can see the sump there. So that's all pretty good. So other than the fact that, you know, you don't have any detail on the engine or anything of that sort, or the the opening trunks and doors, this is actually a pretty good model. The paint looks good, and the detail is nice from what you can see. So yeah, I can recommend this car as well. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Have a great day.